Welcome to AutoStats. This is the channel where we break down the incredible machines you use every single day. If that sounds like your kind of thing, do us a huge favor and hit that subscribe button. All right, today we're diving deep into the heart of most cars on the road, the internal combustion engine. It's a total marvel of engineering that we kind of just take for granted. So let's get into what really makes it tick. So just try to picture this for a second. You're cruising down the highway, maybe in a car with a V8 engine. You're holding a steady 3,000 RPM. What's actually happening under that hood? Well, it's an absolutely staggering 12,000 controlled explosions every single minute. And here's where the real genius comes in. These aren't just chaotic, random blasts. No. This is a mechanical symphony, timed with microsecond precision. It all happens so smoothly, you could probably balance a cup of coffee on your dashboard without spilling a single drop. It's incredible. And you know, despite all the talk about an electric future, this century-old technology is, well, it's far from obsolete. It still powers an unbelievable 73% of all new cars sold in America today. So how does it all actually work? Okay, it all comes down to one fundamental principle. This is the idea that powers pretty much every gasoline and diesel car out there. It's called the four-stroke cycle. Think of it like an elegant four-step dance that's happening over and over again. First, the intake stroke sucks in a mix of air and fuel. Second, the compression stroke squeezes that mix down really tight. Third, you get the power stroke. A spark plug ignites the mix, bang, and that explosion forces the piston down. That's the part that actually turns your wheels. And finally, the exhaust stroke pushes all the used up gas out. People usually just call it suck, squeeze, bang, blow. And this happens thousands of times a minute. So that four-stroke cycle, that's the basic building block. But this is where automakers get really creative, arranging those cylinders in different ways to get totally different results. Let's take a look at how that one simple idea creates all the different engines we know and love. So, the most common engine in the entire world is the inline-4. You're going to find this in cars like the Honda Civic, the Toyota Camry, you name it. It's compact, it's super efficient, and it's cheap to make. It is the true workhorse of the car world. And then you have the American icon, the V8. By arranging 8 cylinders into a V shape, you get an engine that's just famous for its massive torque, that iconic rumbling sound, and its ability to power everything from muscle cars to the best-selling Ford F-150. And now for something completely different, we have the flat engine, or as you might know it, the boxer engine. This is what you'll find in Subarus and Porsches. The cylinders are actually laid down horizontally, which gives the car an incredibly low center of gravity. So what does that mean for you, the driver? It means fantastic handling around corners. Now, all these different layouts can run on different fuels, right? And the single biggest difference is between gasoline and diesel. It really just boils down to this. A gasoline engine uses a spark plug to light the fuel on fire. A diesel engine, it doesn't even have spark plugs. Instead, it squeezes the air so intensely that it gets hot enough to ignite the fuel all on its own. It's literally ignition by pure physics. And this high compression design has a huge impact. For one, it makes diesel engines more thermally efficient, which just means they squeeze more energy out of every single drop of fuel. But the real reason they absolutely dominate heavy-duty trucks is their ability to produce massive amounts of torque at really low RPMs. You don't have to rev the engine to the moon, you get instant, powerful pulling power right from the start. You know, the engine in a car today is barely the same machine it was just 20 years ago. And that's all thanks to some incredible technology. And maybe the most important game changer of all has been the turbocharger. The best way to think of a turbo is as the ultimate recycling system. It takes all that hot exhaust gas, which is really just wasted energy flying out your tailpipe, and uses it to spin a tiny turbine. That turbine then force feeds more air back into the engine. So what's the point of all that extra air? Well, it's a super simple equation. More air means you can burn more fuel, which creates a bigger explosion and, you guessed it, a lot more power. This is exactly how a tiny 4-cylinder engine today can produce the same kind of horsepower that a massive V8 did just a few years ago. Which of course brings us to the big question that everybody is asking right now. In this new era of electrification, is the internal combustion engine on its last breath? Well, the data says not so fast. Combustion engines still power the vast majority of new cars in the US, and there are over 250 million of them on the roads right now. Plus, for jobs like long-range driving or heavy towing, they are still completely unmatched. So the story isn't really about dying, it's about evolving. So the next time you get in your car and turn the key, just take a second to appreciate the thousands of perfectly timed explosions that are happening right under the hood. So I ask you, is it a relic of the past, or is it a constantly evolving masterpiece of engineering? If you want to dive deeper into any of these ideas, by the way, make sure to check out the related topics we've linked for you in the description. So what's your favorite engine of all time? A screaming V8? A super smooth inline-six? Let us know down in the comments below. And hey, don't forget to subscribe to AutoStats for more explainers just like this one. Next time, we're diving into transmissions, because making all that power is really only half the battle. We'll see you then.